Hola, my name is Janelle, and I'm recording this video for my Social Work 270 class. This is our first journal entry, so let's get this party started. Okay. So, a group that I'm associated with besides my own, do I interact with them on a regular basis? The answer to that would be no. I mean, my mom is African American and my dad is Caucasian. And to be honest, I don't have any friends. I don't do anything. I interact with my family because, I feel obligated that I have to. But, I mean, if I wasn't placed in those circumstances, I probably wouldn't even be hitting them up every day. But, yeah, I would say I'm more closer to my black side of the family just because my mom, I've always been close to her. She was the one who raised me. So that relationship and foundation was built. And then, it's just been going ever since. How does my culture affect the way you interact with other groups? I mean, I label myself as a down-to-earth human being. I'm one of those people who you could talk to about anything. And, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not biased. And I'm going to, be a listener. Because I feel like a lot of times in life, we need listeners. But people are not willing to listen. Okay. So, yeah, I would say I'm just down to earth and, real chill. But if you're, not used to this, you might consider me ghetto, loud. I get that I'm loud a lot. But I don't think I'm loud. I think I'm outspoken. My voice carries. I'm not loud. Describe 2 situations when you experience a major cultural experience. Okay, so I'm from the south side of Chicago, 39th and St. Lawrence. Hey, okay. But, and, there's a Walgreens downtown, and it was, the worst experience ever because I go to African-American church, Light of the World, and we were going, because, we were staying down there for a church retreat, so we went to Walgreens to get some Arizona tea, Cheetos, all that good stuff. And, this black guy who was dressed in all black comes up to us, and he's like, I don't care what hood you from, what you repping, but when you come up in here, you act like somebody raised you. I had to pray for him. At that very moment. Because I cannot believe that someone was approaching me in such a disrespectful manner. I was just taken back. So I'm looking because I'm out. Maybe I'm with 12, 13 other African American fellow Christians. And I'm looking at them and they're just walking away ignoring him. And I'm like, no, I'm not that kind of person, okay? I'm a Capricorn, January 11th, so my feelings will be known. And he was just going on. And then okay, I'm whatever. I'm walk with them because I'm you know what? The devil's not going to get the victory. Goodbye. Okay? So I'm walking down the aisle, trying to give me some gum and stuff because the boy I like was sitting next to me on the bus. So I'm hey, okay, got to make sure that breath is fresh, okay? And then he's following me. And I'm okay, maybe I'm tweaking. No, he's literally following me. So I go up to the counter and check out my items, and then I'm you know what? I need to speak to a supervisor. And they're oh, why? Can it something I can help you with? I'm no, it's nothing you can help me with. I need to speak to a supervisor now. So supervisor comes up, and they had no empathy about the situation that happened. I told him when we first came in, the gentleman literally, I didn't know who he was because he didn't have no security uniform on. He just had all black on. So, I was already overwhelmed having some random black guy I don't know run up on me and telling me, I don't know what hood you're from, Okay, boo-boo. First of all, I'm not from the hood. I was born in the hood, but my mama got me out. Thank you very much. Okay? So you can stop yourself right there. Invested for me to go into private schooling. Okay, St. Paul Lutheran, what you mean? So I'm not from the hood. So that was automatic, so prejudiced, and I was being labeled, and I've never went through that before. And I was just so devastated about the situation. I'm an emotional person, so I was already on 10. Okay, my uncle, he works for the police department because I felt after I spoke to the supervisor and they didn't approach him for the situation, well, you know what, that was wrong. That's not Walgreens policy. Apologize to the young people. No, the supervisor was well, I'm sorry that happened. So are you gonna check your employee or no? Yeah. Let me get comfortable. So that was, the first cultural experience that I've ever went through, because I'm an African American with other African Americans, and they just assume that we're in Chicago. So obviously we're hood rats and that we were going to steal something. Like, no, none of us are like that. We all are literally in college. I mean, when this happened, I was a senior in high school, but we all were literally like, going into college. We knew we were going to be something in life. Like, no one that I know of steals. Like, we all pretty much have our heads on straight. And then, like, this guy, let me tell y'all, he took it a step further. He literally followed me outside of Walgreens. I cussed him out. And, like, the guy who I was, like, dating or whatever at the time and crushing on, I don't know what we was, but whatever. He was like, calm down, Janelle, calm down. I'm like, no, I wanna tee up with this guy, because, like, you don't approach people like that. And, like, I called him. I was like, you know what, you're Uncle Tom. And I don't know if you guys know what that means, but an Uncle Tom is, like, someone who is African American, and they're basically, their mindset is controlled by the white man. And, like, I called him, like, you know what, your Uncle Tom, da-da-da-da. My uncle, he's a police officer at Chicago, so I called him down there, and he was already on the scene, like, less than 10 minutes, because I was ready to tee up with him. So my uncle low-key saved him a whipping, okay? So, yeah, that was my first one. And then the second experience I had, it was for when I first started going to private school, okay? Because, like, I kept getting into fights with girls when I was in public school. I don't know why they didn't like me. Like, I feel like I'm a likable person, but they didn't like me. So they wanted to fight me, and I'm like, I ain't no punk, so what's up? And then eventually we got caught fighting in the locker room. We got expelled or whatever. So my mom took me out. Well, she really didn't have a chance, and she put me in private school. And then I go to this private school, and I'm the only black person there, okay? So, like, I'm the experiment monkey, okay? Like, oh my gosh, how does your hair get curly? OMG, do you know how to braid? Are you good at basketball? So you think because I'm black and tall that I'm good at basketball? Like, ugh. So, okay, so it was me and this other boy. I forgot about him. His name was Antonio. And we all went to the same school. And he was like Steve Urkel. So, like, I wouldn't really consider him black because, he was lacking in a lot of areas, like his personality, rhythm. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. And we were in world history class. And this boy, I'm not going to say his name, but this boy is like, you're an ape. I'm like, who's an ape? He's like, all black people are apes. But he was talking to Tony, but me eavesdropping, because that's who I am. I heard him mention it. And I was like, no, we're not apes. And then it was downhill from there. I said some words that shouldn't have been said. I did some actions that I shouldn't have acted out of. And I ended up being enrolled out of the St. Paul Lutheran School. And that was like my major eye-opener. Like, oh my gosh, racism still exists and color will always be seen. How did I react? I told you guys, I was an emotional wreck. Like, I'm emotional in general. Like, I'll cry over anything, pretty much. You tell me no, I'm crying. I'm shedding tears, okay? And, yeah, it was just kind of there. Like, at first I had real hatred because I'm like, okay, these people don't like me because I'm black. But then I realized, like, it's really their loss that they're not getting any cultural experience and they're not learning anything about me. Because at the end of the day, not my loss. I learned about myself that surprised me is that I'm really stronger than what I thought I was. Going through that situation showed me what I was capable of doing and showed me how I was capable of dealing with situations. Like, they put me on school probation for a while, and that sucked, Couldn't go to basketball games or nothing. But at the same time, like, I realized my worth, and I realized, I don't have to be ashamed.